I'm streaming. Looks like it. And Twitch has just moved, which is good. Alright. Now. And... sorry. I have another thing that just popped up on my phone. And that's fine. Hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson, and it is December 19th. This is the December 19th Text Request Dev Stream. It's a weekend dev stream, because I think I'm going to start regularly doing Saturday dev streams, maybe. They'll probably be a little loose, a little shorter than normal, just because they're more experimental stuff. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do today, and eventually I just kind of decided on programming. I was thinking about doing maybe some audio stuff, and right before the stream I was thinking about doing Substance Painter stuff to try and learn that, but that I need to actually learn that more on my own before I start doing it on the stream, because I have no idea what I'm doing there, at least not right now. And I also don't have a tablet, which makes things a little more difficult, because Substance Painter is a lot more, I guess, tablet-based would be how I would describe it. Like an actual drawing tablet, not like, iPod or iPad or any of that crap. But I don't have a good tablet, or any tablet, so I'm probably going to hold off on that for now. And I think we're going to just do some quick programming tonight. Specifically, I would like to see if, one, I'm still getting a specific error where after playing, and turn off stats, I don't need those on. Okay, fine, whatever, that's good enough. So when playing, we have our options menu, and we worked on it a while ago. So we have all of these settings, but for some reason it doesn't seem to actually load them properly whenever you start the game up. So let's change this. Let's do 120 locked, which means it's locked at 120 frames per second. We'll turn anti-aliasing all the way up to 8. Full screen is on. We'll turn VSync on as well. We'll do shadow distance high, texture quality high. Aniso filtering, we'll do 16, and then we'll hit apply. Interesting. Looks like I have something calling don't destroy on load for something that's not a root object. Okay. So we hit back, and then we quit, and that's not going to do anything because we're in the editor. But we're going to start playing again. Actually, I'm going to... Oh, well, that's kind of annoying, isn't it? Okay, that's an error, because I have, this is for the music manager. It's not an error, it's a warning. But I'm basically saying it's a singleton class, so if you don't have a reference to it, it says look for something called Music Manager with an underscore in front of its name. And then if you find that, go ahead and... Oh, wait, no, it doesn't say that. No, that's yeah. Anyway, the main problem is that if something is in the scene, likely it's underneath my main object, which... Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Okay, well, I'll have to look for that. I don't know where it is, or why it's throwing such a weird error. Okay, so yeah, that's that. Let me pause it real quick, I'm curious. Ah, right, I forgot, I have the global object. Okay. And then I have something called Music Manager underneath that. So, we can get rid of that. That's curious. I guess I updated to 5.3, and that might be causing some weird issues. Because you're seeing these red lines are UGUI elements. They're just completely messed up. That's very strange. Um, anyway, let's do what we actually wanted to do today, and let's see if those stats that we changed are still going to be there when we go back. So we'll type start. Let's go to our options, video. So it didn't actually load them properly. Let's figure out why that is. Clear this. Let's open up splash delay. Alright, so on splash delay, we have a start where we load the game. So here could be our problem. Do we have something called settings? I don't. Right, so we're going to be converting, I guess, most of the session stuff today. It won't be that bad, but the problem is a lot of the old session, which is how I save the game, was originally designed around XML, and I'm probably going to migrate it over to JSON, just because JSON is a little easier to actually work with, and I have a JSON utility class that will actually create JSON objects and allow for retrieving specific variables a lot easier than trying to parse out XML each time. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my folder. And I want to navigate development, Unity, TextWise build. I should have a folder called settings here, and this is the settings file. So we have different XML elements for each options menu. So we have audio, video, and then the attributes are the values that get set basically. So we have settings resolution width, setting resolution's height, setting refresh weight. Oh, it looks like it is actually changing those out. But I bet what it is our session isn't setting everything properly. So let me open up video view X. All right. So we have session get right there. So whenever we open, we set all of our cached values. And settings utility. That could be why. So if we go to splash delay, see here we go. We're saying session instead of settings utility. Of course. Come on, work with me here. Okay. Settings utility. Dot frame video frame rate. I'm just gonna go ahead and get all this stuff. So video resolution width, video resolution height, and anti-aliasing, video full screen, video vsync. All right. And now we get the super fun stuff of actually having to actually, you know what, this is actually irrelevant because we have in settings, if we go to definition, we should actually have a default settings JSON object. Forgot about that. So that means that we can just do this. Splash delay. Just say JSON object default. Can't spell. Settings equals settings utility dot default settings. So this is a JSON object, which is a basic JSON, or it's a basic class to represent a JSON actual object, and it will return. Let me find it. Oh right, it's over here. I hate that it doesn't open it over with the rest of them. It basically sets everything to be default values that I've specified already. So volume is set to be 100 for both music and sound effects. Frame rate is set to be 60, yada yada yada, basically. So we'll go ahead, go to splash delay, and let's go to load settings. Go ahead and copy this over. Go to definition. All right. So the first things we want to do is check to see if settings utility has its own path. Probably doesn't. No, of course not. So I'm going to backspace that. So this is our save file path to settings. If we go look at it, go to definitions. It checks to see if the settings directory exists, which is a folder path from the root of our game data folder. And then if it doesn't, it creates it. And then inside of that, it's going to create a document called textquestsettings.txt. And that's what this is. So in the editor, it's underneath the project folder. And in the game, it's actually in the data folder or in the content folder if it's a Mac application. I right-clicked by accident. So that's all fine. And what we're going to want to do is in session. What this is saying, it's if that does exist, then do all this. Otherwise, we're actually going to load our default settings. So, excuse me. So there's going to be, that's our default settings. So here we're making our XML document. And basically for all of this, I don't think I need to change anything. Alright, the settings info. So originally, my session was basically this monster that... Hello, Narcos v Zombies. Good to see you again. So originally my session, which currently it's the same way, the way it did things was I would request a value based on an ID, and then I could say I wanted a bool or a string or whatever. So I had this very cumbersome name value sort of way of interacting with things, because everything at the end of the day was a dictionary, and that's because at the time I had just learned how to do dictionaries. So I'm like, oh, dictionaries are great. Let's just make everything dictionaries. That's a really, really terrible way to go about things. Don't ever do that. Seriously, don't do dictionaries unless you have to. They're actually pretty fine, but there's no reason to make everything dictionaries. You're streaming too, but checking your stream. Oh, I'm sorry that my audio is affecting your stream. I guess you could mute me. Then that would kind of be I guess that'd be up to you. It'd defeat the purpose of listening to me, but I guess you could still watch. Anyway, so I think what we're going to end up doing is we're basically just going to convert everything into JSON. So it's really, really easy to see and use. So just go ahead and delete this. And all we're going to do is say, so if the file does exist, then we'll say string JSON raw equals file manager dot, I believe I have read file. Yep. Session utility dot settings. Come on. Settings save file. So that gives us a string, and then I'll just parse that to JSON. Well, it's your stream. If you don't care, then that's fine with me. So I'm going to go all the way back up to here, and I need to stop saying all the time because I hate it when I do that. It's almost as bad as Shaggy saying like. At least that's what I liken it to. Let's see. So we're going to do private JSON object settings. I can't call it settings info. I'm just going to call it settings for now. Equals new JSON object, which is just going to be an empty JSON object. What am I working on? I'm working on the saving system for my game. So currently, the existing system was written. It was written about a year, maybe longer ago, and it was written back before I knew really good ways to store data. So I stored everything via dictionaries and different lists and crap. So it's kind of inefficient. Actually, since it's all dictionaries, it might be pretty performant, but it's terrible to try and get anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert everything from the original XML that I had parsed it to and convert everything into JSON, because JSON is a very, very convenient way to access a lot of variables. So everything will just be stored in a much nicer way. So let's scroll all the way back down here to the bottom and say settings. Okay. It's going to be like that, is it? Settings JSON. Settings JSON. Oh my god, what is up with my... What is... Ah, it's because it's static. Okay, I was like, why is it doing that? Instance.settings JSON. Actually, I don't need to do that. I can just make this static up here. Because there's no real... I mean, session... It should be a singleton. Oh, that's why I was doing it, because I can't just make it a static class, since the data has to be stored somewhere, so... that makes sense. So... Instance.settings JSON equals... JSON... is this my JSON utility? Oh, good. That's great. Dot parse. Oh no, okay. Never mind. So I just have a equals new JSON object. Can I pass it? It's been so long since I've used my own JSON system. It's like JSON parser. There we go. That's what I called it. JSON parser.parse to object collection. Okay, I should just call it .parse. And then JSON raw. There we go. And then we'll just say instance.settings JSON equals this. So now we should have our JSON loading up really quickly. So the next thing that we have to do... Hoi! This is actually really, really great, because that means that, oh man, saving is super easy now, because I don't have to convert everything into elements, then add them to a node, then add those to the document root, and then add those into an XML document that then gets parsed out as a string. I can just parse my JSON object to a string, and then I'm done. So I can actually get rid of all of this. The only thing I need to do is say file manager dot... did I say write file? No. File manager is a class that I wrote to help handle accessing files. That way I wouldn't have to keep importing system.io everywhere. I should have a write file. Save file, I guess is what I called it. Okay. JSON, or sorry, settings JSON. Oh, oh right, it's instance. Instance dot settings JSON dot to string, I believe is what I. Actually, it might be to formatted string. Formatted string. Contents and then path. There we go. And that means that I can just get rid of this and get rid of this. So, yeah, I just carved out like, what, 20 lines of code, I think. All right. So, that was load session. That's the right. That was save and load settings. So, last thing that I need to do is say change how I'm getting my settings. There it is, get settings info. Okay. Da, 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 da. This is the only time I use it. Music manager. Options. That's not great. Right, the level manager stuff. So first off, let's go to our session. Ah, crap. I did it again. Now we want settings utility. Let's go to our default rate, anti-aliasing, resolution. We need to add our new settings. Oh no, I guess we already did that, didn't we? Video text res right there. Okay, that's good. Alrighty then. So we'll still keep everything in sessions for now. I really feel like I want to break session out or settings out of session because they're really tied together right now and there's no reason for them to be. So I might separate that out a bit. Let's come back here and let it compile real quick. And there we go. All right. Why do we have a temp object here? Interactive object inspector. Ah. I'm guessing. Okay, well this is in my header. That's weird. Okay, I'll look at that later. That's not what we're doing tonight. Let's clear this. And no, I can probably clear this. So. Session. Alright. I guess I can't really say settings, can I? No. I don't, at least I don't want to call it settings because settings is such a vague word. So what, like quality settings maybe, or game settings? Client? No, nothing so drastic. Um, Options, no. This is basically the thing that would control the application quality settings and stuff. I don't want to call it quality settings though, because that's a mouthful and I have to type that every time. Let's just try game settings. Reload all. This is going to be the the settings for the game. So like your resolution, your frame rate, your VSync, anti-aliasing, anisotropic filtering, all that crap. Namespace text quest, not quest. Quest is what I would like to call it. Quest. And I guess we'll keep it as a mono behavior because I think that's what session is. Yeah, because I do some things locally. So, should be able to open that back up. All right. Now, let's go to flash delay. Oh, this is video view. I was wondering why I was so massive. That doesn't seem right. Session, here we go. Let's go all the way back down here. And let's grab this. I'm going to go ahead and grab these and move them. I'll keep them in there for now, but I'm also going to add them to settings utility. So that'll go up here underneath all the keys. Put it right there. Directory. And let's go to session utility. There we go. Just grab these guys. Yeah, see, I don't want to call it too. I don't want to make it too generic, like graphic settings, because, like, surprisingly, I mean, there's graphics. Because if I make it too similar to something in the Unity class, I might get it confused later on. I'd prefer to just avoid that altogether. Anyway, go ahead and just do that. Naming. Delete this. Directory exists. File manager. Did I just call it create directory? Hooray, I did! Versus, let's see, return. Let's comment this out. Return file manager dot I guess read file. We should give it a path. So settings directory right there. Yeah. Settings directory path plus that. And then plus private const string settings file name equals wonder if I should call it like TQ or something. Okay, so that will basically give us all the information from the file at the given path. And then I don't remember if I want to say separator char. Do that. I don't think it really matters, but I tend to do that just in case. So that should all be fine. And then everything else should be fine as well. Save this out. Save this out. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just move all this stuff. So save files, continue save file. Oh, that's session utility. I want session. Let's go to session. So we're just going to copy and paste save settings. Put that right there. And then we're going to go over to session, go all the way up to the top. We're going to copy our singleton stuff, just for convenience. And we're just going to call this settings. All right. Wonder if I could just do this. Ta-da! One line. Actually, I can even get rid of these braces now. Ha! Shorten it by 4 lines. Nice. Destroy unload. Blah, blah, blah. Right. So instance.settings JSON. So let's just say private JSON object, which is going to have using games.common public JSON object. And for those who don't know, HoosierGames.common is a library that I put together for the student game group that I am involved with currently. And it has just a bunch of nice extension classes and data classes. It has the entire JSON like utility class setup that I put together for all of these JSON related things. Makes it very, very easy to do JSON in Unity and other stuff too. But JSON object, we'll just call it info equals new JSON object. So you're going to implement a graphics menu inside your game instead of Unity's initial graphics settings? What do you mean? Oh yeah. No, I already have that. So I'm just gonna call this info, and then info. So I can play. Hopefully I don't have any errors. So I can just show you what I have right now. Because I already have a entire options menu. It's not finished because I'm always adding new stuff to it whenever I figure out how to do it. But we have, let's go through all this stuff. Start. So we have a video options menu. It has the resolution, the frame rate, anti-aliasing. So all of these are adjustable. You can go 30 FPS, which I guess I'm only streaming at 30, so you won't be able to see the difference. But I have 30, I have 60, I have 120, which just feels so nice. So much better than 30. Anti-aliasing goes up to ×8. Full screen, VSync can be turned on. Shadow distance goes from low, medium to high. I need to have a number there, I think, to let people know what that is. Texture quality is specifically related to substance, so defaults to medium. I can probably go up to high. Isotropic filtering, I'll go up to 16. I don't think that actually does anything right now, but yeah, I have all that stuff in there. And now that should have overwritten. Yep, look at that. Oh, it also didn't populate anything. Oh, I guess it wouldn't. Right, it wouldn't. Um, is it? It's not hard. You're gonna want to look into the quality. Hold on. Quality settings class inside of Unity. That's where a lot of that stuff gets set. So if I go to game settings, load settings here. So splash delay. This is these 4 lines here are basically doing all of the actual adjustments to the settings whenever I load the game up. So screen.setResolution takes 2 integers and then a boolean to say what the width and height of your resolution are, then whether or not it's full screen. Then you have application.targetFramerate sets the locked frame rate for the application when it runs. If it's set to a negative value, I believe it's set to run as fast as it can, which is the default value whenever you make a build. But I find it better to lock frame rate if you can to something consistent. That way you don't have weird dips. Quality settings.anti-aliasing is an integer as well, I want to say. Yeah, it's an integer, and you can go in powers of 2 from 0 to 4, 6, and 8, I think, maybe. But up to 8, I believe. And then vsync is just a boolean. I know it's an integer, right? Because you can go 0, 1, or 2, and you never want to go 2. Actually, I'm sure that there are situations where you want to go 2, but I don't know what they are. Because it halves your frame rate, because it syncs up to every other frame, basically. But yeah, it's not really hard to do. It's more just getting used to things. So, all right, settings utility. Let's go ahead and I'm curious if I should. Yeah, I assume that there's a reason that the sync every 2 frames is there, but I don't know what it is. All right, so let's just go to game settings. Next, how do I want to do this? I guess I'll do it out here. Public enum settings ID. I really like that. I've kind of become averse to doing enums out in the ether as their own thing. I try not to do it too often. So we can do a byte. We're not going to go above 255 for this. So let's have sections for audio. Let's do none first. Equals 0. And this will be audio volume master equals 10. Audio volume music equals 12. Audio volume ambience equals 14. Audio volume SFX equals 16. Okay, now we can go to video settings. That's pretty good. Video. Let's see what I want to call it. Frame rate equals 20. Video. Refresh equals 21. Video res width equals 22. Video res height equals 23. Are you still painting your explosion? That's how work. That's just how work is, though. You say that you're gonna sit down and do it, and then you don't. Video AA 24. Video. Let me move this up here. Video full screen 24. Make this 25. Video vsync equals 26. Video text res equals 27. Actually, no, let's make that 28. We'll have video shadow dist equals 27. And video aniso equals 29. Okay, that's all of the settings that I have so far. That's pretty good. All right. So, game settings. So we have save settings, load settings. Let's go ahead and say actually, you know what? Let me pull off video there, splash delay. Let me just grab this stuff. I'm just going to put that in there right there. Oh, man. Already tired. Go ahead and make this private. No need for it to be public. Load settings. Have you done more games in the past? I've worked on a lot of games. My actual job is a game developer at a educational games company. And I've released I've worked on a couple of released games through there. And I've worked on probably half a dozen personal projects with other people my age and students. And most of those, actually all of them, failed. Well, not failed. They didn't get finished, which is perfectly normal, actually. And you learn a lot from even unfinished games, and that's actually where I picked up a lot of technical and design skill sets. But no, I have not personally released any games yet. This will be the first one. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do int width equals instance dot info dot get int value Settings utility. Come on. Dot. Really? Video. Resolution width. I have to specify. Yeah, I can specify default value, which I'm not going to bother. Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're starting out, you're gonna just have a bunch of projects that don't get finished. Um, so, am I happy with that? I think I'm gonna go ahead and rename this to be just settings. Call it settings info. I'm just gonna call this info. That way, it's easier for me to do all this stuff. I don't have to keep typing instance dot settings info. Int height equals. Duplicate this. Paste that. Video. Come on. Resolution height. Bool. Full screen equals info dot get bool value. Settings utility dot video full screen. All right, so all that's there, and then we're of course going to say int fps equals info dot get int value. Settings utility dot video frame rate. And then int anti-aliasing equals info dot get int value. Settings utility dot video anti-aliasing. And then int vsync equals info dot get int value. Settings utility I'm sorry, not anti-aliasing. Vsync. Okay, come on, work with me here. All right, so that's all there. I'm just gonna go ahead and I guess I don't need this anymore. I'll just call it vsync. All right, and then I think we also want to say quality settings dot. Shadow distance. Equals. It's an int. It's a float. Good. Info dot get float value. I can't spell. Settings. Utility dot video shadow distance. Go ahead and move that down here. So like I said, it's just a bunch of quality settings and quick calls. The trick is learning these classes that you have to mess with when you're setting stuff up. So we have shadow distance. Don't need to do anything with the texture resolution yet. Quality settings dot. Oh man, crick in my neck. Tropic filtering equals. I just don't know what. I don't know why it has an integer value if you can't actually slide it or change it. That's what's really, really weird. Um, hmm. Yeah, well, checking the docs will help, but usually you have to at least know the general area of what you're looking for, because sometimes you'll stumble onto really useful things like if you're doing any sort of editor scripting, really often you'll come across editor GUI layout dot whatever, and then all it says is the name of the function, and the definition is literally just the function name repeated, basically. It doesn't tell you how to use it properly or give you any examples. It just says it does this, and then usually it doesn't give you anything beyond very vague terminology. So you're like, that's useless to me. Um, so I'm gonna look real quick. So let's see. Oh, okay. This might be what I need. Texture.set global anisotropic filtering limits. That might actually be what I want. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Okay. Um, let me see if this. Probably not going to give me anything useful. Yeah, it really can be pretty bad. The documentation can be kind of. So this isn't the worst one, but this is, I mean, it's very cut and dry what it does. So I guess it's okay that it's short, but it doesn't give you any examples or anything like that. You'd think that they would at least try to have one example per page. Um, let's see if this is what I can do. Right. And I think that's just going to be set global anisotropic filtering limits. Forced min. And then global max. Okay. I guess. Okay. Let me try this then. Texture dot set global info dot get float or get int value. Ah, right. It would just be the exact same thing, except we're going to say int aniso equals that. Aniso. So I'm going to try this and see if that does what I want. But first I need to make sure that I actually have a good setting for this. Yep, right there. Video aniso. Okay. Equals video aniso. Nice. Okay. So that means in settings utility, we're going to have a default settings that is video text res, video, can't spell, video dot add, video, miso, new JSON number, 0 for our filtering. So by default it'll be off. Did I? Okay. I thought for a second I spelled video or video with an I. So I spelled it VIDIO. I'm like, really? Did I do that? Ugh. Hate it whenever I think stuff like that. So there we're setting the. So set resolution and full screen. Set frame rate. Set AA amount. Set vsync count. Set shadow distance. And set isotropic filter amount on textures. Okay. So down here on video view, or not video view, it's a float. Why is that a float? It should be an int, correct? Yeah, it's an int. Okay, well then let's go convert these things to floats, or to ints. This would be why. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do get return game settings dot right. I need to do that real quick. So back here at game settings, all this stuff is fine, but I want to actually have a function to retrieve specific settings. So we're going to say public static void get setting, and then settings utility crap utility dot settings ID and then right, crap, of course it's a freaking The problem with JSON is that they're all different types, which is frustrating. But I could do this. Get setting int. Give it an int. Return. How do I want to do this? Right. Public static string get key. Settings ID. Switch. value equals nothing, return value. Alright, so case settings ID dot audio volume master break value equals audio volume. What is this? Seriously? Ah, because I have not. Right. Copy all this. Master music. Ambience. Master. Audio volume master. So this is not great. I hate doing this, but it's a convenient way to get the string in other classes, but it just means that I have to have a stupid massive switch statement. I really don't like doing that. But there's no real elegant way to do this besides trying to do some sort of advanced list thing. That would be pretty terrible. How old am I? I'm 24. I'm nearing the end of my second year as a grad student, so 24. Settings ID dot audio. Oh, come on. Dot audio volume music. Ambience. Ambience. Audio volume SFX. SFX. Well, yep, I am younger than you then. Which is weird. I'm used to. I've been living on a college campus for the past 6 years. Well, not on it, but around it. And I've gradually reached that point where everyone starts being younger than me. And it's very strange to get used to. Alright, so let's go ahead and paste another one here. And then, all of the video stuff. Video. Video AA. Video. Anti-aliasing. Video. Aniso. Video. Aniso. Video. I don't like how long it's taking to go through this. It shouldn't take that long for my computer to do that. Curious. Maybe I need to update my NGUI. Looks like settings ID, video, video frame rate, video frame rate. Video, come on, full screen, video, full screen, video, refresh, video, refresh, video, res height, video, res width, width. Ugh, very slow. But that's what happens when you have string-based crap. Distance. Video. Text res. Video. Text res. Video. Vsync. Alright, finally we're at the end. Video. Oh, really? Come on. There we go. Oi! So now we can just say settings utility.getKey. So we can say settings info. Ah, wait. I have an idea. Private JSON object settings info get return. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna make this null. And we're just gonna say if settings info equals null, return instance dot settings info. Do that, make this static. Instance dot settings info equals settings utility dot default settings. Nice. So now we can just make settings info be our class that we, or the thing that we reference. Info equals value. And that's all we really need to do. Let's go ahead and just do that. All right. So actually, I don't even need this anymore. I just say that. It's very convenient. Makes it very fast. I really like doing get setters and caching values that way. Just doing automatic checks to set everything up if it's not already done. It makes it really easy. You never have to worry if you've set it up because you know that if you haven't, it will set itself up. Makes it very, very nice. So that's game setting. Now we need to actually add this. So we're going to say return settings info dot get int value settings utility dot get key based off of an ID. That's all I need to say. And default we'll specify as 0 for the time being. It might not be what we want to do, but actually I don't even need to say 0 because it'll default 0 if it's not specified. So that's fine. So that will get any int value. We'll just copy this, do float. float value, get a bool. Trying to think. I don't remember if and we'll need a string too. I don't remember if you can use bitwise bools in Unity or not. I mean, I assume you can. Get setting string value. So instead of using true or false, you use 0 or 1. And the reason that you could do that is because generally it frees up more memory, but there wouldn't really be a need for that in Unity. I'm sure you can do it if you really, really want to, but I don't really have a need for it. So let's go ahead and copy all this, paste it right below, and then we're going to say set, and make these void, and then int value. Let's see, dot set value. Oh joy. New JSON number. Value. Oh, you can? Okay. I figured that you could, just because it would make sense for any programming platform to have that, but I wonder if I should try to do that one of these days, just out of interest. See if I can do it properly. It's way more complicated than most people need, because you have the risk of corrupting stuff if you do it wrong. Well, I mean, you're not going to like corrupt the game itself or anything, unless you're really careless, but so set value new. Actually, you know what? I can just do this. JSON number value float value and void. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. No, it's definitely got a. It's way easier to make a mistake with bitwise booleans. Um, just because you're assigning numerical values to specific bits. Um, so, and again, most of the time you don't need that. You might as well just use a bool. So unless you're really trying to get performance and like eke it out, there's no real reason to do so. Let's see. Set setting int, set setting float, all that stuff's fine. And actually I can just do this. Set setting float id value dot to float. Because these are doing the exact same thing otherwise. Because JSONs only have a number. They don't have an int or a float. They just have a number. So let's go void set setting bool. Oh, you know what? We're already in game settings. Why don't I just say get float, get bool, get string, and all of that. It's just redundant to do everything else. Set bool, set float, set value. Come on. New JSON bool value. Bool value. Alright, and then last thing is string value. Set value. New JSON string value. Alright. So that's all there. And now I can easily reference things by just saying settings ID dot whatever. And that means that now I can go down to game settings again and don't have to worry about that. Well, no, it's fine. Right? Yeah, do that right there. I might as well just go ahead and get shadow distance here too. So float shadow equals info dot get float settings utility dot video s for shadow distance semicolon, and then I'm just going to call this shadow. Ta-da. Okay, so all of that stuff should be in there now. Let's let that load. Oh, I've got one error. Ah, right, I forgot. I went off to fix this so that I could just say dot get int. Come on, settings utility dot aniso. And then I can just say set game settings dot set int. The delay is killing me. Settings utility dot video aniso. Oh, right, I need the value. Value. There we go. Oh, that makes everything so much easier. Hooray, I wasn't specifically referencing session except for outside of the variables up here. Ah, that makes it really easy. If well, maybe. It's hard to say. Excuse me. Let's go back to game settings real quick. I'm going to go ahead and say, nope, no reason to do that, is there? Right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say, let's go down here and say public static void refresh settings. And all that's going to be is me copying this all, moving it down here. I can just say refresh settings right here. So this way I can call refresh settings from outside and not have to worry about it. So settings utility and video view. So how do I want to do this? Hey, I'm still having that problem. Well, for now, let's go ahead and just fix this stuff. So we're going to get rid of this. We're basically just going to go ahead and copy paste all of this. this. I feel like I have too much dead air tonight. Just because I'm kind of focusing on really easy stuff. It's nothing too difficult. Mostly repetitive. Repetitive. Any more floats? We'll go ahead and get them out of the way. Nope, it's all ints. Okay, let's go ahead and get those out of the way then. Res width. Height. And then hopefully once this is all done, we'll actually have a good sized or a functioning options menu again. Paste that, copy that, paste that. Video frame. Right, there we go. Video refresh. Video AA, I believe is what I called it. Yep. Okay. Grab this. And then we have get bool. Set bool. Video full screen. All that. And then video vsync. Right, except we're going to actually change this. Make that an int. So it's going to be get int again. There we go. Set int. All right. Cached vsync. So we're going to make cached vsync an integer as well. Not private true, private int vsync equals 0. Let's say if it's greater than 0. So all that stuff's on there. All that stuff's fine. Just gonna say vsync there. It's all fine. I wonder if update settings could just be refresh settings, maybe. Let me check, hold on. Ha. I think it could. So I think I can just say, comment all that out, and then say game settings dot refresh settings, and it should all basically refresh itself. Okay, so let's see if I fixed all of my bugs or not. Nope, I did not. I've got a couple left. Right. Vsync equals vsync equals 0, 1, otherwise 0. All right. Make this an int. Wait. Float value. That's why I did that, because I was stupid. So I can just say value dot to int. It'll cast it to an int for me. Let's see. Dot to int. All right. So everything else should be in order, I think. Now we should have a functioning one. Yep, looks like that did it. All right. And first things first, I'm actually going to go ahead and delete this, because that file was generated when we didn't have everything set up properly. So, and then let's go to video view, check resolution, blah, 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 blah. All that stuff. And then on apply, clicked. Right, so we need to go all the way up to here, I believe. Apply. Just checking, go to default. No. Really? Are you kidding me? Wow, really? I've not been setting it. No, okay, I do it right here. Maybe. Hide resolutions. No. What the freak? Oh, because I don't need to. That's why. Okay, yeah. No, I remember what I was doing. There was no need for me to apply the settings, because the settings are actually applied every time you make a change. That's the reason I cache them when you open up that menu, because caching them when you open that menu allows me to reset them if you want to go back to what you had before. So that's okay. That's me being slightly confused, because I haven't worked on this in a while. Okay, so all of this stuff, yada yada yada. Go to start. Let's go to options, and then let's go to video. So we got set to a frame rate of 0, apparently. Well, look at all of that. All of that is horrendously wrong. So, what happened? Let's just review what happened. Something bad happened. So let's go to splash delay. It's because I didn't actually... Here, let me get rid of all this crap. And go to definition here. Okay. So all of that stuff should be... Oh, and right there it's pointing to the wrong thing. Settings, utility. .settings, save file. Okay. There we go. So now it should be correct. Okay. So, let's go ahead and turn that on. See what we get. Oh, look at that. Settings. Why are you... Come on. Oh, good. It was an error on a fundamental system level, which means that I have to hunt it down. File manager, blah, 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 blah. Splash delay, yes, 15. Splash delay. there? Ah, because now I want to call game settings load settings. So that would be a fundamental error. Okay. Small stuff that I just don't think about. Okay, so it didn't throw any errors, which is good. Here. It's at 120 frames per second, which is good. Let's go to start. Let's go to options. Video. So, wow! What is wrong with my video settings? Oh, we'll let it go back to its default resolution. Really? Okay. Okay. Jesus, what is wrong with this? My entire thing is just getting... Let's see. Close, blah, 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 blah. Let's go to show resolutions, hide resolutions, on apply, click on cancel on resolution. Yeah, on frame rate clicked. Let's... What is my frame rate? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. This is very strange to me. I don't know. Let's go to refresh rate. Or no, frame rate. Go to definition. So I have settings to get int value. That stuff's fine. Now let's go ahead and just do this. Debug.log. Oh, no, it wouldn't. Right. Debug.log. Settings. Come on. Settings info dot to formatted string. Okay. So now when we load, we should get a big JSON debug. That's telling us what our default values are. I must be setting them wrong or something somewhere else. Because they're getting set to be 0, which is not what they should be. Because there's nothing here. Wait. Let me guess. Settings utility. No, that's fine. I was doing file manager.persistent data path. Okay. So, let's try this again. Go ahead and... There we go. Oh, right. I'm stupid. So stupid. I am so incredibly stupid. So, I forgot that I grouped everything into sub-objects. So I was trying to get these strings in the root JSON object, which is not where they go. So that was me being dumb. I forgot I did that. Yeah, well, it's because I nested objects and I just forgot to not do that. I guess it depends on if I want to do that or not. Because it keeps things more organized, but there's no real need for it. So and it makes getting stuff a little bit more frustrating. Because instead of having these basic functions, I would have to have more specific functionality. So I could do stuff like settings utility. So that's settings ID. Let's just go ahead and say public enum settings type. I would derive from the byte again. By default, it derives from int32, I believe, Unity's enums, and a byte is smaller than that, so you can say save some space by having it be smaller. None equals 0. Audio equals 10. Video equals 20. And then here we can simply say settings utility dot settings type. Type equals none. So we'll just copy all of these. So I'm overloading these functions to just look for them. Why are you getting mad at me? Oh, because those don't need to go there. There we go. So we're gonna go ahead and say if type does not equal type.none, we're gonna do something else. Do that. So let's go back here and say public static string get type settings type string value equals that return value switch type case load dot audio break value equals audio what do I call it up here? Settings audio. Video. Not a video. Video. Alright. So now we can come back here and say this is going to be not great. I don't know if this will work very well or not, but it's worth a shot. Actually, no, this is fine. Setting info dot. Oh, actually, can I reference it directly? No, I can't. Crap. I'm gonna have to do this. JSON object jo equals settings info dot get object settings utility dot get type and then jo dot get or set float set value, I guess. Maybe this. Excuse me. Feel that one coming on for a while. Settings info dot set object. No, just set value, I guess. Here and then jo. Okay, so I basically just have to have this check in front of everything to keep that organization going. Not terrible, but not ideal, I suppose. So let's just copy this, paste that. JSON. Bool. Right. And then everything else should be the same. Same thing down here. Bah. JSON string. Alright. I think that's the only thing I need to change. I will need to do the get stuff too. So, blah, blah, blah. We'll copy this. Ooh. Guess I forgot to add that to string. And get string. Don't need any of this crap. All right. Get this. Actually, I could probably just go ahead and do this. We get the object, then we get a string value. So I could just condense it even further. I'm all for condensing. Get bool value. Get float value. And get int value. Okay. Oh, why are you complaining? Not all code paths. Huh? Yes, it does. Unless I'm forgetting something. Okay. I'm not crazy, am I? Oh, I didn't say return. Bah. Say like, this is not right. Okay. Now let's try it again. And hopefully we'll be able to get through everything this time. Go ahead and hit play. Ugh, man. Start. Options. Video. And everything's 0 still. Oh, right. So I just added those, but I actually have to call on them in the video view. So, diet video. Copy and paste this a bunch of times. Fortunately, we made it pretty easy to just fill in that stuff. So now it should all fill in properly. And it lets me keep things segmented, which I'm always for. Okay, so let's try this again. Get everything. Start. Let's go to options. Video. Alright. Go up to 120. Uh-oh. I don't like this either. Let's go to video. So for some reason my frame rate... I can't go above ×2 anti-aliasing for one. It's odd. I can't toggle my VSync on or off. Can't change shadow distance. Texture quality can go from low to medium, but nothing else. Anti filtering seems fine. Let me hit apply, and then let me go back to video. So we're still at 60. VSync is still on. All of these things are getting reset, which is problematic. Why is this the case? So here's our save file. It's not spitting anything out. So we are setting an int value, which is basically just going to set the float value. Our settings type is not equal to none, it should be video, which means that our settings info set value Okay. Well, let me do this, I suppose. Debug.log test. And then test plus ID plus value. Okay. Not sure why it's doing that. So settings info. That's fine. Let's play. So at least we're getting our default values correct, but for some reason our set values are not getting set correctly. Options, video. Okay, good. We got a null reference. That means something's going on. Get int. Get object. Should give it a string. Get type. Settings. Audio. Video. Right. Ah, wait. Because this got generated again. Okay, let me try that again. Let's see if this works. So skip all this stuff. Start options video. Okay, so everything's here. Ah, again. Stop playing again. So it didn't change anything. So I'm not going to maximize this on play. I'm going to get rid of the stats menu. So it's just regenerating everything, which is problematic. Let's see. Let's go to video view. What did I try to change? I tried to change the frame rate. So let's just say show resolutions, on apply clicked, on resolutions, on frame rate. Here we go. So by default, our value is set to be 60, but then it checks for our frame rate. Go to definition. We get our int. Go to definition. Okay, so I'm going to debug.log. Oh, not log warning. Debug.log this. If that's doing what it should be doing, I should at least get a number. And then, where was it? Okay. That was in video view. There it was. I was like, why can't I find it? Okay, so we're going to need video frame rate. And setting the video frame rate. Okay. Let me check. So here we're saying our value is 60. Then we check our frame rate. By default, it will be set to 60. Okay, so our value gets set to 120. That's fine. And then we should set our frame rate equal to value. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like it defaults back to whatever it was before. So if I go to definition here, update settings. Shouldn't need to specify anything. I can go to definition here. Equals settings info. Am I being stupid? Game settings. So we're saying set int, which is just doing set float. Converts it. A toast? Why a toast? Ah, man, I'm being stupid. Nice. Congratulations. I'm glad at least one of us can get the work done. Why is this doing this to me? Not even getting as far as test here. If type does not equal, I'm gonna put another one down here. Let's just See if it's just debugging the wrong one for some reason. Yeah, we're not even getting text file. So. Yeah, because our FPS should be at least changing to be 120, and it's not for some reason. So I would like to know why. Start options video. There it is. Huh. That's not possible. I didn't. What? What is going on here? What the heck? That doesn't make sense. So it's going to test 2, which means it's still. What? Still looking for the wrong thing. That doesn't make any sense. So we're doing frame rate. Set int. Let's go to our value. We're passing system settings utility dot settings type dot video. Yeah, blah blah blah. That's all fine. And then set float. If type does not equal settings utility type dot none, which is what I'm so confused. How can it be equal to none when I'm explicitly telling it not to be none? Unless overloaded functions in static functions. No, that's not the case. It can't be overriding that. I have to be doing something stupid. Like something blatantly stupid. Well, while I'm waiting. Nice! Looks really nice, Narcos. Wow, that must have taken forever. Because that's actually really smooth. So I am doing something wrong here. Oh god. Damn it. I forgot to pass type here. I hate myself. I knew it was me being stupid. Well, I'm glad you posted the explosion, because it apparently gave me the moment of clarity I needed to see my own mistakes. Ah. Let's try this again. Start options video. Oh, look at that. It's still going back to 60. What did I do? Oh, wait. Oh, why did everything freeze up? Okay. For some reason, Visual Studio just like seized up. Yarg. Come on. Okay then. My Visual Studio seems to have frozen. Yarg. There we go. Aha. You gonna make me force quit you? I'll force quit you. Don't test me. Oh, no, but it quit. It was scared. It did it before I had the chance to open up Task manager. Okay. There we friggin' go. Let's go to definition. Isn't that curious? So, interesting. So setting it to be 0, which is very odd. So get object, get the JSON object at element ID, which should be video, correct? Ah, oh, jeez. I just realized I was doing something stupid as well. No, never mind. It's fine. Settings, video, audio, and then settings, video, video, and then we're about 5 minutes away from just setting everything in the stupid root. Because it shouldn't be this difficult. It's me being stupid. It's something that I'm doing that's really, really, really dumb. Go to definition. Pass along our type. If type is not equal to none, then get object, get int value, get ID. It was giving me 0. Why was it giving me 0? Object. Don't tell me that my JSON is screwed up. Really hope that it's not, but it probably is. So let's go to video view, and then actually let's go to game settings. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Debug.log settings info. Come on, drop it. Debug.log to formatted string dot to formatted string. Okay. So now I should be able to see every step basically, so that I know. Oh great, I forgot to stick a debug in there. Then real quick, I'm going to go ahead and say plus section you know what, we'll do string.format. There we go. So section 0 new line, then 1, and we'll have type. Alright. So, I do enjoy string.format. It can be very useful for stuff like this. Great. Unity has its own class called Scene Manager now in 5.3, which is exactly the class I made for managing loading scenes. Go figure. Start. Options video. Okay. So I'm going to pause real quick. Clear all this. Hit OK. And I'm going to say frame rate 120. So it was 60 and now it got set to 120. And when I hit it again, it well, that's curious. So we're setting our values. So here's our this is the original JSON. Here's our section under video. So that's this section right here. And then there's our actual int value, which is right there. And then immediately we set our value to be something else. The only thing I could think is that for some reason let me try one thing. Freaking logger. Log. To formatted string. New. All right, let's see what we get. You had to return to 5.1.4 because of physics.processing lag issue. Really? Yeah, updating is always kind of a crapshoot. Because sometimes you get really nice performance bonuses, and other times it just breaks everything. Options video. Okay. Let's clear this. Ah, see, that's what I was worried about. It's not. Really? It's not actually setting the value, which is annoying. Because it should be. Let me go ahead and do this. String.format. Zero. Jo.to formatted string. Okay. So we're going to be able to see what things should be set to. I'm getting the sneaking suspicion that for some reason it's not wanting to actually do JSON for some reason. Or it's not properly parsing it. I don't know why that would be the case, but that is the case. Options, video, and then let's stick on frame rate. Yeah, right there. Settings FPS is getting set to be 60. That's not correct, though. It should be 120. Right there. Why is that not? That's so weird. Let me see. Ah, see right there. It's doing something stupid. I don't know why it's doing that, but let me see. Set value. Go to definition. Go to definition. I must have had some oversight. If not, right. Give me a second. So you can see here we have two settings FPSs, which should not happen, but for some reason it is. That's really weird because what it should be doing is if it has the same key or the same name, it should just overwrite the old one, but it doesn't seem to be doing that. So yeah, it was actually setting things. It just wasn't setting it correctly. Okay. So game settings definition. So yeah, that would be why. What's this value do? Definition. Yeah. Yeah. Of course. So, let me guess. Scroll all the way up here to get value. Let's see. No. Get string value. Yep. That's not correct. Ugh. Okay. So, don't I have a get JSON name? Yeah, right here. Find all references. Right there. Is string, is number, is bool, is array, is object. Are you kidding me? I only did it for... Of course I did. So let me go to definition real quick. Right. So this was me trying to fix a weird, overly complicated problem that I kept going back and forth on. I wasn't sure what I wanted to have happen if you typed in a string that did or did not exist in the JSON object. What I settled on was it would give you a null string. That's because it's... I think that's because I had to check if it existed, which was really stupid. Right. About ready to pull out my hair. So all I really need to do is say get JSON string ID here, and it should fix all of my problems. And there's a reason I didn't do that. Because reasons. Yeah, that does seem stupid. I don't know why I made this so hard on myself. I should actually just change this right now. I made everything based on JSON strings as opposed to just string values, but they're all string values, so it didn't. I don't remember if there was a reason for me to do that or not. I don't know. Oi. Well, either way, let me go all the way down here again. So, get JSON string ID, collection to string. Just go to add real quick. Add. Add. Come on. There should be an actual function called add. There we go. Pass it an ID. Right there, there's 2. Alright, I think that's all I really want. I think. It's honestly hard to say. But that's probably why I wanted to do it that way. I don't know. I'm probably going to have to come back and redo that just because it's really, really tedious and stupid because I was trying to do stuff based off of JSON strings. And then to make it easier, I tried to make other things based off of strings so that you wouldn't have to keep typing new JSON string. But that just made things complicated because strings aren't equivalent to JSON strings, so you could have the string value in there, but then when you check, it thinks that it's not in there, and it was a mess. So let's go to options, video. There we go. That fixed everything. So let's set all this stuff up. We'll say vsync is on. Set our, yep. That's, okay, high. Let's set this to 16. Hit apply. Okay, so let's go back to video, see what we get. We get on times 8, high, 16, 120 locked. All that stuff's great. Get back. Okay, so let's stop playing. Let's take a look at the text document, which it's empty. That's not good. Why is it empty? So everything else worked, and then it crapped itself. Am I not calling? Oh, wait, I bet I know what's happening. Close. Let me be. Yep, right there. Game settings. .save settings. Okay. Let's try this one more time. Ugh. More tedious than anything else. Yeah, I think that was just a small oversight. I think this will actually fix it. That's always the problem with ripping functionality out of other places, is that there's vestigial references to the old place. So options, video. Okay, so all this stuff. Let's go 120 locked, anti-aliasing times 8. Just max everything out so it's really easy. I don't like that defaults to that, but we'll go high. Let's go 16. And we'll hit A. Okay. So stop playing. Here's our text document. Yeah, there we go. There's our JSON file. And then we have a crap ton of garbage that's getting added. What is this? That needs to go away. Let's take a look at that real quick. 10-to-1 says it's me doing this. I never say add here? I don't really say add. So this isn't, it's not in here. That's all fine. Huh. Something else must be setting null objects. That's weird. So aside from this, which is weird, we seem to be doing all right. Let's go ahead and get rid of all of these debugs. Don't need them anymore. Okay. It's probably something weird. Because, I mean, something has to be calling add on those, but I don't know what would be doing that. So, because it looks like we get, it's inconsistent with when they're added too. Until we get to here, and then it's always false. Number, which makes some sense, I suppose. I mean, is there ever a point? Right about there. Okay, so after the first... There we go. Maybe it was something weird with how I was doing... I don't know. Let's go to definition. Definition. That should be fine then. Let me try that again. From the top. Maybe some of the debugging stuff I was doing was adding that. That's what it looks like. Because every time I looked at it, it was different. Start. Options, video. So we're going to have to set all this stuff again, but that's fine. So right there. There's our original. There's our new. It's got the correct values, but then it also has all of the stuff set wrong, which is very odd. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So something is setting those things. Let's see. Maybe when I save settings. Nope, that's just doing that. Let's go to video view. Let's see. Update settings. Show resolution. No, that doesn't seem to be correct. Okay. Settings info. Find all references. Huh. So it's slowly generating more than we need, which is really weird. Something else has to be doing this. Formatted string. Doing set values, that's all fine. No, this doesn't seem to. Let's see. Basically, wherever this is called, I want to find out. Only called there. Called here. Okay. So if not, name value pairs contains key. It's probably another small thing again. That I only have set value. So weird. Really tempted just to get rid of the whole JSON string crap. As it's kind of pointless right now. I don't know. Oh no, that's why I did it, because I had to get the key to string. That makes sense. The problem occurs when you reactivate the first one. Yeah, it's... Well, it... I don't know if it's when I add something to it or when I'm debugging it. Let me check real quick. Comment all the save lines so you can run one by one. Yeah. So let's go to settings. Game settings. So load settings. Here we go. Refresh settings. I know what it is. It's me doing this. That was me being stupid. Okay. I forgot about this. Settings type dot video. I forgot to no. Dang it, never mind. No. I'm still on the right path. It's me being stupid again. Settings info dot get object. Settings utility dot video. There we go. I think this will solve it. It's because I was trying to get these values directly from our settings info, but remember we have them in nested objects. So I have a safety measure that says if you're trying to get a value and it doesn't exist, go ahead and create it. Right, that was me being stupid. So, is it already created? Okay. So let's start this. Options, video. Okay. So let's try this again. anti-aliasing times 8, vsync on, let's go high, times 16, and apply. Okay, now let's stop playing. So we have same thing, aliasing times 10, texture resolution. Our ANSI level was still 9 for some reason. I don't know why that's the case. But let's take a look at this and close this again, I think. Open this up. There we go! That's weird. Where was my ANSI level? Oh, it's because, yeah, okay, never mind. I know. So now if I load this back up, yeah, it looks like everything's loaded properly. Start, options, video. Yep, 120 locked. 8 times anti-aliasing, vsync is on. Shadow distance is set to medium for some reason. I think that's just a parsing error on my part. The numbers are correct. I think I just have the label wrong. And then, yep, times 16 for aniso filtering. Yes! Sweet. Okay, so we solved our issue. Quitting there is not going to do me any good. So, hooray! So our texture resolution is 11, which is high. Right? Yeah, because 9 is low, I think. So it's 9, 10, and 11 were the 3 resolution types. So, ha! Okay, we got everything solved. Our settings are now using JSON instead of the clunkier XML, which makes me happy. And everything's a lot faster and easier to reference now. So I think that's a good place to stop for the night. Quit while you're ahead and all that. Let's see. Probably not going to stream tomorrow because it's Sunday and I'll want the day off. Well, from streaming, I'll be working still and I'll probably be messing around with Substance Painter because it's always fun to mess around and learn new art skills. But we have everything working in settings, which is good. So we're going to probably start the slow and painful process of rewriting my save system because it's in desperate need of a rework. It needs a refit to make everything nice. And I will probably start that tomorrow night. Hopefully I'll be able to get through it before Monday's stream even starts. But, yeah, for now, I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off. As always, thank you all very much for watching. Thank you, Narcos, for stopping by again. Always a pleasure.